This is an open meeting under section 19.81 to 19.98 of the Wisconsin State Statutes. You have last month's minutes in front of you. Any need for corrections? I'd look for a motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Kate. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Monthly staff reports.
Overall, the numbers for February are up from a year ago. Preschool, adult fitness, and memberships are all basically equal. Little variance there. Youth sports and youth activities were both down. One by is the sports by 50, activities by 22. But the adult sports and activities were up 200, and that's namely due to pickleball. Those numbers were up quite a bit, and we added the extra times. Miscellaneous was up 400. I don't have an exact reason for that. And then our usual report on the golf simulator, we had 39 rentals for a total of 59 hours for the month of February. And then the Signacast pool was also up 500 from a year ago, with the big number being 200 for the open swim.
Any questions on reports? Thank you, Randy. Communication and correspondence, anything coming late?
Yes, actually, I received an email over the weekend from the USTA. We had applied for a grant towards the Willowbrook tennis hitback wall. We needed some submit proof that the project was completed, so I submitted the report. With the completion of the wall, they determined our project also complete. So they approved the grant for $5,000, and we should receive that before our next meeting.
Nice.
Excellent. No appearances or public comments, no old business. Under new business administration, we have an executive summary for the painting of Signacast and therapy pole.
Yes, this is a CIP project for the painting of the walls of the therapy pool and the leisure pool. Not the pool itself, but the walls, the physical walls with windows and whatnot. This also includes the soundboards as well, up above. We quoted out 3 painters, and Independence Painting came in with a low bid. And then this work would happen during our August shutdown.
Any questions on the summary?
I have a question.
Angel?
So I noticed, and it's probably the next agenda item, when we talk about the other painting. Looks like both companies painted or quoted both projects, and looks like we're going lowest bid, not to kill the answer there, but is it more effective that way, having 2 different guys doing it, or was there a reason, or is it just lowest bid?
Basically low bid. We weren't getting a discount for having them do both jobs. Of course, they both would have liked to have known, hey, we could have, adjusted our numbers, but that's not how we operate, of course.
Sure.
I also like the fact that we're spreading it around. I believe Independence Painting is out of Jackson.
Yeah.
And then Hartford Pro is located here locally.
Yeah. I was just wondering if there was, like I said, I'm noticing them both quoting it, and if there's any advantage of them, one doing both of them, whether timing or not, so that's fine. I like how you're supporting the community, so.
Were both bid requests out at the same time?
Yes.
What's your pleasure here?
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Joe to approve staff's recommendation.
I'll second.
Second by John. Any other questions? All right, all those in favor of approving staff's recommendation to go with Independence Painting for the agreed price of $15,750 for the project, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next executive summary you have in hand is for the painting of the exterior walls of the rec center gymnasium.
This is also a CAP project for paint sealing the exterior walls of the gymnasium. This will help eliminate the moisture issues we've had with the gym floor. As we will be doing that project along with the floor project in May. Hartford Pro Painting was a low bid of the three quotes. It was same three painters. They are aiming to begin at the beginning of May. And of course, that'll be weather dependent because this will be an outside painting job.
Any questions on the executive summary or staff's recommendation? I'll motion to approve staff's recommendation.
I'll second.
Who seconded?
I will.
Scott seconded. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of approving Hartford Pro Painting with the low bid of $10,250 towards the exterior walls at the rec center, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries as well. And we have a corp plan update.
Staff had a chance to have a kickoff meeting with representatives from MSA. We went over the scope of work, tentative schedule, and direction of the overall process. We are currently going over the survey for our public engagement. We have arranged where MSA will appear at our grand opening for Centennial Park, which we'll talk about here momentarily. And so this survey will be presented there as well as online. People will be able to take the survey as well. So I've been reviewing that. And that's where we're at with the process.
All right, and now we have an executive summary for the additional funding towards the pool stair tower at Signacast.
So this was an amendment to the agenda. Did everybody receive that? Otherwise, I have copies here. So we had our bid opening for the stair tower replacement. We had two contractors take out bid packets, only one of which submitted a bid. We had a budget for $75,000 for this project. I will add, we had little guidance from Raymaker, who did the engineering plan for the replacements. They had done that last year. Little guidance meeting, did not receive feedback on how much this project would actually be. So from there, A&N Contracting out of Hartford was the lone bid we received, and that came in at $135,000. The reason for the cost are the creation of the aluminum stairs themselves. This isn't a cookie cutter project. This is something that they'll have to have a fabricator do to create the stairs themselves. And they also need to hire a subcontractor to remove and then reinstall the slide itself. That was something we were not counting on. A&N came in, I want to say, probably a half dozen times to look at the project, measure it up, talk it over with us. And I understood why they wanted the slide removed. With the demo of the current concrete stairs, a piece of that falls, even a little chunk to scratch the slide, that damages the slide. So we understood where they were coming from with wanting to do that. So they wanted to avoid the slide. This is also not a desirable project, especially given the time of year for contractors. We didn't want to push this back or rebid it at a later time. To push it back to wintertime, which would benefit them, would also be during our busiest times for pool use. So we wanted to avoid that. And I did reach out to Tyler Menzel, a former employee, who's the WPRA's aquatic rep, for other options for contractors. And this, as we talked and we went out, heard the same names, and this really isn't an aquatics project. It is a construction project. It's just a stair tower leading up to a slide within a pool. One of the other things working against us is a contractor's ability to get proper equipment for the removal. We do have the double doors, utility doors right there in the corner of the pool, but you can only bring in so big of a piece of equipment for the demo. So we had all this working against us. The subcontractor A&N had found for the slide removal was based out of Missouri. They're actually the same company that had refinished the slide, indoor and outdoor slides for us. And I was able to contact, or staff was able to contact, the contractor that did the installation of our water feature last summer. They're able to do this work. Their bid came in $10,000 less for the work. So the project total now with the new contractor would be $124,500, which is still $49,500 over budget. So staff is proposing utilizing funds reserved for the 2025 CIP purchases of a Parks van and also a Parks truck. We would push those purchases off to 2026. This would be GO debt, and since the city borrows on a 2-year cycle, 24 and 25 are paired together, so that money would be available to us at this time. That was a lot.
It is. And to be clear, we are not approving the entire project, or,
You would be approving it with the next item on the agenda, but I need your approval for, hey, you guys are good with rearranging the budget here a little bit. And then the next step, it goes to finance and then council as well. So you guys are the first and what I deem the most important step, because you folks are in front of me.
we're just moving money right now.
Just moving money.
And your staff is good with pushing the replacement of those two
I
vehicles?
did check with Brian. I mean, the vehicles need to be replaced, but they're not detrimental to use, to the staff. We can get by one more year.
Anyone?
I know the need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the slide itself, which I would talk about in the next item number, we all know, you've seen it, the concrete is failing. It's not structurally failing, right now it is just cosmetic, but still with that, cosmetic failure can lead to injuries. Obviously the last thing anyone wants is a piece of that stairwell to fall during open hours or any time at that. Staff still checks it regularly. I don't know the last time we've had to remove a piece of it. But we do check that, and if pieces of it need to be removed, staff does that. Truthfully, in talking with Brian, it's steadied. We do feel we could push this off another year if need be. But at the end of the day, I don't think we'll get any better of a price, especially if we try doing it during the month of August, which is our normal shutdown. And I would just assume see the project get done.
So how did we get the 75,000 in the budget then? We just, that a swag?
That was
or
our
what?
best estimate.
It was just a swag,
Yeah.
okay. So, I mean, what you're saying then is turn around, if we don't buy the vehicles this year, or we'll have actually acquired the money for the 2024, 2025, so we have the money.
Correct.
And all we're saying is instead of spending and buying cars next year, just use it, get this thing done, put the vehicles in the next budget. To me, I think, we have the money. I think, as you said, I think that's the right thing to do. And, maybe it is cosmetic. I've been to the pool several times. I have seen it. I've even worked there when you had some of the pieces fall. And it is definitely a hazard. Not only, could hurt somebody else, but it also doesn't look good,
Right.
in my opinion. and people will draw conclusions that we don't take care of our stuff, so.
The other, it will also damage the tile floor too.
Absolutely,
Depending upon the
absolutely.
size of the chunks that fall.
Yeah.
So then we have something else to repair.
Yeah, so, I'm in favor. I mean, if you need a motion to approve, I will approve the adjustment of the budget to take care of this project.
There's a motion by Joel,
Second.
second by Kate. Any other comments or discussion? All right, all in favor of reallocating $49,500 from the 2025 CIP? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Lastly, we have an executive summary for the replacement of the stairway at Signicast Aquatic Center.
First off, I've been getting real good at writing executive summaries. So you know the nuts and bolts, A&N Contracting. They are local. Like I said, I appreciated the fact that all the communication I had personally with them stopping in, checking, rechecking. They put a lot of time and effort into this project. I like them because they're local. I'm familiar with them. Would have been obviously beneficial to get other quotes. But like I said, I don't, in my research, I don't think this is a desirable job for most contractors.
Any questions? Any other questions on this project?
Have they ever done anything like this before?
That's tough to say. I mean, as
Kinda
far as
unique.
so their role is really just as the general contractor. They're gonna bring in someone else to fabricate the stairs.
Yep.
So they're not doing that work. Bringing someone else in to do the slide itself. Mainly what they're doing is gonna be the demo, which is no small feat itself. Like we said, we don't want it crashing down on any part of the slide, or like Kate brought up, even on the decking, the tiling, that could damage it as well.
I know they've done good work in the city and
Yeah.
with our schools too, so.
And I take it who's ever manufacturing the slide, or the steps itself, I should say, whoever that subcontractor is, what kind of information do you have on them?
They're also local. So I should talk about the the stairs itself. It'll be, I believe it's gonna be an aluminum stairwell. And when I say aluminum, you can picture the outdoor slide. So it'll mimic that. The steps themselves will be designed specifically on what we have out there. Brian was very involved with that. You might question the metal in that environment as well with the indoor pool. If you ever look at the handrail for the slide or the stairs itself, that is metal and looks as good today as it did, the day we opened. I even suggested like, hey, if you guys want to reuse this, I mean, just to save a couple bucks, they did politely decline on that. But just to show that was able to sustain that atmosphere, so we're kind of mimicking that with the handrail. And then the design of the stairs will mimic the outdoor pool.
So no more concrete?
No more concrete,
No more pebbles?
no more pebbles. Well, I shouldn't say that because the pillars will still
Gotcha.
maintain. So there's two pillars, one that holds the platform at the top of the slide, and then the secondary pillar. Those will still exist.
Okay. Did we have damage on either of those pillars?
I wouldn't call it damage. We've had to do work to those.
But the aggregate wasn't put back up, it's still like a smooth cement finish?
No, it still has the pebble finish.
Oh, it does, okay.
Yes.
Anyone?
I'll make a motion to move forward with A&N Contracting for the slide stair replacement.
Motion by Scott.
I'll second.
Dan? Dan with the second. All right. All in favor? Any other comments or discussion here? Anyone? All right. All in favor of approval of A&N contracting at the price of $124,500 to replace the stairway at Signacast Aquatic Center, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Rec programs and activities, we have Mom's Day and a craft project.
So coming up in April, we have our Mom's Day craft. It is our last kids craft of the winter-spring session, but we are full, and they get to make some tote bags and use some stencils and paint to kind of make something for their moms.
And youth pickup basketball.
Youth pickup basketball is new. We are trying it out this session, and we actually are going to be running it. We just got our minimum number this week, which is super exciting. There will be 10 that are going to be playing. It's a time where supervised pickup games with the kids, so we do have staff there. Put them in teams, they get to play against each other. They get to learn some rules, fair play, and make sure that everyone's safe while doing it.
All right, thank you, Melanie. And then we'll move on to adult and youth sports and an update on the youth ball.
Our teams are now pretty much set for the summer. We have all of them running except for our 12 to 14 softball. We did have to unfortunately cancel that one due to low enrollment. But we do have teams in all other levels, 3 teams in 3T, 4 and 4T, 8 and 5, 6T, 4 in Diamond, 6 in Rookie, and then 1 for all the older leagues. So it's a pretty good turnout for especially like our T-balls. It's looking pretty good that way. I have also hired 3 more umpires, which is awesome. I'm always, the more the merrier for umpires. This with schedules and everything, the more the better. So we are looking for a little bit more, I would say, older umpires to get to our older leagues that are being trained. We do have a training at the end of April in Slinger, so hopefully we can get some more on board so they can go and attend that training.
What's the date for that training, Melanie?
It's Sunday, April 29th.
Okay.
That's the Sunday.
All right, and Pee Wee soccer?
So even with the snow outside, I'm thinking of outdoor soccer already. We have 6 signed up for a 9 a.m. and 12 for the 10 a.m. So the numbers are looking pretty good considering it's still a couple weeks away. Looks like that 10 a.m. will probably fill, and then they'll be kind of forced to go to the 9 a.m., so I'm not too worried about that. Looks like it's going to be warming up the next couple of weeks, so hopefully that pushes more people to want to sign up.
Well, here's indoor tennis. That can be held.
So indoor tennis starts this coming Saturday. We have 6 signed up for our Pee Wee tennis and then 11 for our youth tennis. Youth tennis is looking pretty good, and we do have spots though in both programs for anyone who wants to still sign up.
All right, thank you, Melanie. Moving on to aquatics, and update on summer staffing at Vets Aquatic Center.
Yeah, so staff is looking good for this coming summer. Like I mentioned last month, we have pretty good numbers overall. This past week on Monday, I did send out the request for summer availability, so those are slowly starting to creep in. Those are due by the middle of the month, so then I'll have a good guess of how full we'll be each day. But based on numbers, we should be fully staffed every day. Managers, we're at about our number we want. Could probably use 1 more as a sub-request type manager. We did move a head guard up to manager this year, so looking forward to training him. At the head guard level, we have 3 new head guards this summer, as well as 2 returning head guards. They've been excellent members of our staff for a couple years now, so I'm looking forward to seeing them in a leadership role. And since they're not at the 18 age yet, hopefully in coming summers they prove that they're willing to move up to manager. So I have good hopes for them. At the lifeguard level, good numbers overall. We have about 65. Currently I have a class of 4 plus Melanie, which is going good. We were supposed to leave early today, but they got everything pretty quickly on Monday, so we were able to skip a day today. So things are looking good there. As for our attendant positions, I've done about 7 or 8 interviews this past week. Everyone's looking like pretty good candidates. So I'll make staffing decisions on that probably early next week on Monday. And then as for swim instructors, we could always use a couple more. But as of now, it's looking like we should be able to fill all the classes that we have scheduled for summer as of now.
Excellent. Maintenance update?
So yes, update on the pool heater is almost completely installed. I know we were waiting on a couple parts when we visited last time, but we're near completion with that. And then we will be bringing in, I believe it's Horizon, to do some sealing of our joints within the pool. We had some holes which led to loss of water at the end of last season that was discovered, so we are bringing them in pre-season to do that work, and that should help resolve that issue.
Thank you. And a CIP update on Signacast.
So this was in here before all the updates, so we are on track to shut down July 31st. That night, Brian will come in and drain the pool, and then the contractors will come in first thing the morning of the 1st to start setting up for their demo. So we do plan on being shut down the entire month of August again, and we plan on being ready to go. I believe we go the week after Labor Day is normally.
Tuesday after.
The Tuesday after Labor Day, sorry. Thank you, Sarah.
Moved on to parks, we have the parks project report.
Yes, staff completed the install of the tennis hit back wall, as previously mentioned. They also were able to secure the basketball hoop, if you remember correctly. We had a concern there with the lack of backing that hoop was loose. They were able to secure it, so I was happy about that. They did some more installs at Centennial Park. You'll notice the bike racks have been installed. The bike repair station that was donated by Rolf and Carol Kipper. We did have that in hand in the fall. I talked to the Kippers and said, hey, do you mind if we waited till the spring to avoid one winter season of wear on it? And they totally agreed. We got that installed, and then the exercise stations that were previously in the park are now installed as well. So a couple steps there closer to complete completion. Also dedicated time to marking out Section 8 of Pleasant Hill Cemetery. That's been an open section. Now with sites being marked out, that'll be a new revenue source. We'll be able to sell lots within that section, which we previously weren't able to do.
Any questions on a report? And maybe I missed it, Randy, but I did see that we have the Forte sign up on the pavilion at Centennial as well.
Yes, yes. That sign was installed late last fall.
I guess I just didn't notice it until.
Well, it is on the back side of the building, so.
All right, and do we need to touch on the CIP update?
Yeah, there's other things going on here, so.
All right,
We expect the installation of the ADA fishing pier at Centennial during the month of April here. It's being created, I forget the name of the business that's doing it out of Sturgeon Bay. They'll be coming in within the next couple weeks here. They're going to do some concrete work underneath, and now this pier will be a permanent pier, a floating permanent pier within the mill pond. Instead of pulling it out, it'll remain in. So that'll happen hopefully prior to the next time we meet. Also, we've been working with engineering a lot in the last week and a half, working through the parking lot for Independence Park. For those of you that don't know, City Engineer John Griffith has left the city, so we've been working with a representative from MSA that's been brought in. He's been great to work with. He's really picked up the ball for us. So myself, Brian, Ron Heschley, and then the engineering departments, we've been out on site, we've walked the site, they've staked it out. We got a timeline together. I also want to thank Daryl Cronz in the street department. They've been part of these meetings. And Daryl is going to help lead us with some of the pre-work, if you would, reshaping, cutting out, and then putting in the base. Daryl's been very helpful in helping us with that and what should really be done with it using his expertise. So we plan on doing our portion of the work anytime, and then the blacktopping will not happen until the second week of July. We wanted to make sure we weren't interfering with soccer happening in the spring. We also wanted to make sure that we weren't left with a mess for the 4th of July show, the fireworks show. So we want to make sure we got that in. And then we also want to make sure it gets done prior to fall soccer starting as well. So we found a nice little niche there, and that should be getting taken care of. And then a quick pickleball update for you as well. Staff has been doing more research on the courts. And with the encouragement of my subcommittee, we're trying to see if we can fit 6 courts on the West Side Park site as opposed to the 4 that we have. It does look like we are able to fit 6. My goal is we're trying to work around, it's not officially a memorial tree, we'll call it a sentimental tree that's in that area. And it's a strong, healthy tree. Some of those trees down there, you look at them like, yeah, that can go. And some of those will go. Unfortunately, this tree is not one of those. So we're going to do our best to try to rearrange and work around it without having to lose that tree. And I also been in discussion with the subcommittee. I brought up the sport court surface, which some pickleball court, Slinger has a sport court surface on their outdoor court. To get their point of view on that, they resoundingly said, no, thank you, which is fine because it's more expensive upfront cost. But it is longer lasting. You don't have to do the refinishing as often. But I see.
Nope, there's one place that I do agree with pickleball players. No sport court.
Okay. Well, that's good. No, I'm glad, but I'm doing my due diligence and making sure I'm putting all the options in front of them, and I do appreciate the feedback on that too, Kate.
Yeah,
So thank you.
the tennis players definitely, I know they'll put those in kind of as an all-purpose,
Yeah.
type court, and that definitely is a no.
So your subcommittee is in agreement that that's the best potential site?
I wouldn't
Or are
say.
you not at liberty to speak for the subcommittee?
I wouldn't say that. They still strongly believe Woodlawn. They would really like to see it there. I've given my reasonings for not. Woodlawn is a natural park. I do think that green space is beneficial, especially for our all park rentals. We have businesses in town that regularly hold their company picnics at our park. And if I'm going to be frank, I don't trust that people will park in the parking lot when utilizing the pickleball courts if they were up there. I mean, renters don't utilize the parking lot, so I don't see court users doing that as well. Plus, if I'm having a rental, I would be distracted by the
Noise.
the sound of the pickleball.
It is noisy.
Yeah, I never picked it up until I read it in an article. Now I can't unhear it. So yeah, we always know when they're in the gym.
I'll be
Yes,
spending
But
the
we're
whole
happy
week
they
at
are in the gym.
Pickleball courts in
Don't
2
get us wrong.
weeks, trust me, it's noisy.
So yes, trying to do our best towards them. Where we're going to start a fundraiser. You can all expect a letter in the mail. See if you'll donate towards our pickleball courts. As the budget's set up, half the money would be fundraised, and the other half would come out of our park reserve fund.
Is there anything else in the CIP update, Randy? All right, then we'll move on to Arbor Day recognition.
Yes, we'll do our annual Arbor Day presentation, as we'll call it, on Friday, April 26th. That'll be held at 4:30. We'll be bringing in our volunteer city forester, Corey Gritzmacher. He'll do a short presentation on trees themselves. I've already touched base with the local scout troop. They'll be on hand just as they were last year, so we'll have staff plant about 3 trees. And then the scouts will come in, they'll put the mulch around the trees and then water it, along with learning a thing or two about trees.
And where will that happen?
That's a great question, Todd. Still waiting for, couldn't slip that one by you, could I? Still discussing with staff for the proper spot to do it. I'd like the 3 trees somewhat near each other so that the scouts can, as opposed to everyone working on just one tree. It worked out nice at Woodlawn last year. If I had to guess at this point, it would probably be at Willowbrook.
Okay.
Good catch, though.
Well, I knew it wasn't at West Side by the,
Had a sentimental tree?
right? Any commission requests tonight? Anything on your mind? Not hearing any, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
All motion.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Kate. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.